again, everybody. Welcome back to 15 Good Minutes. This is Coach B. I'm here with my guy, Freddie. How are we, man?
Doing well, and you?
Doing well, man. JR's a little under the weather. He won't be here today. We got a lot rocking, so we're gonna press through, JR. We'll catch you when you get back, buddy. Get well soon. I'm gonna lead with something today, Freddie. It's a football topic, and I just want your honest opinion. The NFL Washington Commanders are horrible. They're a terrible team. They don't understand what it is to win. They don't embrace winning. I think it's a culture of losing. Now, to the audience, let me say this. I'm going in on them today, but not randomly. I've grown up here. It's been my team since I was a kid. So I think I have the right to do that. And I'll also put a caveat in. Some of you that follow the channel may have a like situation with your team, but today we're talking about the Commanders. So I think the thing that got me, Freddie, was, earlier this week was the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And Washington let go, of their number one pick from a couple years ago, traded him for a third round pick. So he's going to go, to San Francisco, probably turn into a stud. We had Trent Williams years ago. Same thing. When people leave here, they go somewhere and play. So I got a couple things I want to say about this team, but as an outsider who, you have another team, you follow the Bucks, but you've lived here.
Mm-hmm.
What is your assessment of this team and why we seem to be habitually off?
The Washington Commanders, the franchise, the organization, has been habitually bad for so long because of the previous leadership, the ownership, right?
Okay.
So now that's gone. You got, this guy, what's his name? Josh
Harris.
Josh Harris.
Yeah.
His group, and you got Magic and things of that nature. So sometimes, you have to press, do a hard reset to kind of flush out,
stinking thinking.
Exactly. And maybe it was good for the team. And, look at it like this. Chase Young, the reality of it is with his injuries, he's had a phenomenal rookie season, but he hasn't really done much since. Are you going to...
And this was his last year of the contract as well.
Right, exactly. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, right? So would you rather let him go in free agency and get nothing for him, or get something for him now? If you're making up in your mind, Washington, we're not going to pay him, on the lower end of a salary scale.
Yeah.
Let's say 4 years, $60 million. You're not going to pay that, right? So it's just sometimes you got to tear it down. Montez Sweat.
He went for a second rounder. Also end of his contract year too.
Exactly. Where are you going to pay him? I think they're going to stick with Allen and the other big boy in the middle.
Yeah.
Which aren't bad pieces to build around. If you can get other draft equity to help build, because that team, it has so many holes. You need a consistent number 2 receiver. Sam Howell has played well the past couple of weeks, but he's up and down. You got to shore up that secondary. Your linebackers, you've invested in Jamin Davis or whatever from Kentucky a couple of years ago. He hadn't been the guy that you got Cam Curl, who's not bad.
He's not bad.
But, he's not elite either. So it's just with a team with so many needs and things of that nature. I think that might be, with this new ownership group, thinking about, moving forward. Because let's just be honest. Washington fans, they going to pack FedEx Field out regardless. You can put trash on the field and y'all still going to show up Sunday night, Monday night, whatever, Thursday night, Thanksgiving, whatever day of the week it is, y'all going to pack it out anyways. So,
yeah. And here's the thing. I just felt like if we're going to do anything, it would be offensively. And yes, you have to draw a line in the sand and build somewhere. Maybe a little risky to do a big contract on Chase and all that kind of stuff. I get that, and I recognize that it was their last year here. I just feel like, and to your point, I want to give this new ownership group time, 100%. The culture here, under Snyder was just bad, and it's going to take some time to undo that. But I feel like the players here don't care if they lose. I'm not going to say they don't want to win, but they don't care if they lose. Watch the post-game press conference. Watch it from the top down. Riverboat Ron stands there and does the thing, and he just, we're going to watch the film. There's no emotion.
He knows he's going to get fired anyways.
He should have been fired. I had him gone 2 games ago.
He should have been. He knows he's going to get fired.
And maybe Bieniemy becomes the guy.
He won't.
But that's the thing. Why would you bring him here? And, I don't know. I wonder. I just wonder what they're thinking. I'm going to give you 2 things, and then I'll get off how horribly sorry this organization is. In the last 25 years, Washington has won 2 playoff games. Let's say that one more time. Since November of 1998, Freddie, till November, today's the 1st November of 2023, 2 playoff wins, 25 years. Now, yes, 24 and a half of that comes under the Snyder regime. However, I believe that when you suit up, no matter what the sport is, you at some point take on the demeanor of the organization with which you play. And I think over time, going back, I used to watch guys like Fred Smoot. Didn't care if he lost, he'd be partying after the game. It seems to be a culture of losing here. And I don't think you can get where you need to be if your fan base is more energized and more energetic than your current players. If your former players who played really, really hard, Brian Mitchell and guys like that, are coming unglued because they want it more than you do, is it us? Because we're older. Maybe it's a culture thing, but I don't see any pivot in the players. Understanding what you're saying about the ownership. At what point does somebody who's putting on the burgundy and gold take pride in what they're doing?
Ask yourself this question. Realistic. When was the last time the Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them,
the Washington Football Club?
Right. Ask yourself, when was the last time they actually had a good, competent coaching staff? That exactly. It was probably in their Super Bowl years, right? That was the last time they had a consistent, good, competent coaching staff. But when you look at the teams, right, that historically that has not had culture problems, you think about the New England Patriots.
Oh yeah, that's a really good example.
You think about
stability.
Exactly. Yeah. Guess what? They stink now, but they do not have a culture problem, right? Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin. They're not very good. They're still trying to figure some things out, but that they don't have a culture problem. They're just trying to get the right guys, the right pieces in.
While that is true, and I get that you're 100% correct, but I would think the same thing holds true for other teams. Listen to this for a second. I'm just going, you talked about Sam Howell. Since 2019, we've had Sam Howell, Taylor Heineke, Carson Wentz, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Garrett Gilbert, Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, Kyle Allen, Case Keenum, and Colt McCoy. Right now, let's just stay just in the NFC East for a second.
That's a hell of a
Since
list.
2018, the Dallas Cowboys have had Dak Prescott minus the time that he was injured. So, and again, how they're playing right now versus say how they played last year isn't the thing. But doesn't this speak to your thing about consistency, not just in coaching staffs, but dude, we've had 10 quarterbacks since 2019. Had 4 or 5 in 2018. 2018 alone, I didn't even go to Josh Johnson, Alex Smith, Mark Sanchez. Come on, man. It's a carousel of average or below average players also.
So when you look at certain teams in big markets, the Washington Commanders, I'm not saying they're not serious about winning.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I am. I'm saying that, but yeah, go ahead.
But they're in a big market, the nation's capital. right? It's all they're in the NFC East, the most popular division in all of football, to where they know they're gonna get several primetime games every
Every
year,
year.
right? It's gonna stop with Washington when the fans, the Washingtonians,
Agreed.
stop showing up, spending their hard-earned money, going to see this filth week in and
Week
week
in and
out.
week out. Looks like we lost Freddie. Probably some Texas internet stuff. You may have noticed that his video had froze, and then right there his audio froze. So yeah, he's down. No big deal. We're pretty close to closing it out. I don't know. I felt some kind of way this week about the Washington Commanders from not the new ownership, but from the top down, starting with coach. I didn't understand the trades that went on this week. I don't understand the culture of losing and not feeling anything about it. I would love to see some of that change, but when I looked at that stat that says it's been 25 years since we've, and we in 25 years we've won 2 playoff games. That's beyond or worse, I should say, than being mediocre. So there you have it. I know some of you guys probably have some like feelings about some of your teams in the NFL that may not be as good as we want them to be. I just think that they should want it as badly as we do. 2 quick things. I want to say condolences to the Knight family. Coach Bob Knight passed away earlier today as we were recording. He was 83 years old. Quite controversial. When he was at Indiana and even at Texas Tech, had a chance to meet him and work with him at a couple of clinics. I put him in that category of from a basketball perspective. He was a basketball savant, basketball genius. He really was really, really good. And he will be missed in the basketball community. The one I got something to say thing that I got to say is I don't know what's going on with James Harden. If you haven't had a chance to listen to Brian Windhorst's Brian, the commentary I should say that Brian Windhorst had on NBA Countdown today, check it out on ESPN. I agree with him. He basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, but when Harden gets out of the league, he should become a consultant, and he wasn't joking. He said he should become a consultant to other NBA players and showing them how to get what you want all the time. Nobody else has just demanded trades in the way that he has and gotten them. Oklahoma City, Houston, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and now, as of this week, he's been traded to the Clippers because he demanded out. Everywhere he goes, he demands out. And for whatever reason, the league keeps giving him what he wants. And that's what I think what Brian was going to. At some point, this is beyond ridiculous. At what point is some owner, some team, some franchise going to say, you don't want to play? Sit your ass over there and you just don't play. But just allowing him to go from team to team to team, mid-contract, not at the end, is ridiculous. At some point when Freddie and JR get back, we may do a show on just how badly that's got in some sports, maybe many sports, but in this particular case, James Harden is a next level guy, just getting what he wants. So again, sorry for the technical glitches this week. Glad you guys were able to join. We will be back fully staffed next week with both JR and Freddie. Until then, we hope you guys have a really, really good weekend. Take care.